We are Redrwn, and I am Jerry.
I am Kish.
I am Severance.
And I'm Mason.
And we're happy to be here.
That's all you got?
Done.
So what are you guys the most excited about, like, performing today?
Fucking opening up the wildest pit of the night. I think that's what I'm excited for. Sevy, what are you excited for?
I'm excited for that big ass drum kit in there. It's gonna.
That's
a thick boy.
That's a big boy. I'm excited to play on an amp that's like not a baby amp.
I saw there was a keg.
I was gonna say that bit.
Yeah.
So how did your band start?
I
Pretty much did that.
I kind of took the helm. Came to college, knew I wanted to jam with some dudes while I was up in Tallahassee. Knew this guy through theater. Took him to a punk show at the Bark one time. He's like, I could do this. He's like, I can do this stuff. He likes, Chris Stapleton, some country influences he likes, also grungier. I'm talking about Kish, by the way.
Why don't you just let him say that?
Well, I'm telling the story.
Yeah, let him go.
Anyways, two similar but kind of different musical influences, and we're like, yeah, we can get a band together. I knew Mason through the improv group on campus, No Bears Allowed, and he also expressed interest in my music. I did this event called the Redrwn Westcott Cover Show, which is I would just go to Westcott Fountain, and I'd play guitar covers by myself that were like heavier music. Mason saw that and was like, I want to play with you. He's like, I could play bass. He's like, that could, help this whole thing.
Actually.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I actually did.
Cool.
Andy, she told
Andy,
me about that.
yeah. Sweet. Mason was like, he wanted to help me out. I wanted his help. I knew he was talented. And Mason knew Sevy also through the improv thing as well. And he's a jazz drummer through the School of Music. And he loves the heavy stuff as well. And we just slapped it together. It became Redrwn. And yeah.
Cool. What's the story behind your band name?
I came up with it. I initially wanted it to be Redrwn Oblivion, but Kish was like, that's too metal and we're more versatile than that. And I was like, agreed. I don't really know what it's all about. It's probably some deep philosophical meaning that I thought of one day, like walking to class. I don't know. But just constant, redoing of life. Like time breeze, time is a wave, you are a wave, you grow, you ebb and flow, whatever. Redrwn, I don't know, and I don't fucking know.
I didn't know about any of that. I thought you just had a name. I was fine with that.
Everything has a motivation. Everything has a reason. Anyways, yeah.
So how would you describe your sound?
Our sound, I'll hand that to Kish.
Oh, why me?
I think we're still fine.
We're still what?
We're like in the process.
We're in the process of finding our sounding good, because we have like a punk song, and then whatever I've written is kind of grungy stuff, and then some, pop, emo, metal stuff. It's all over the place. So we don't have a defined sound. What did you put on our Instagram?
I put on an Instagram, I said punk/grunge/post-hardcore, because I think, simplestly, that's close enough. And, everything that Kish says, we're still finding it. We're trying. I think he encapsulated it pretty well with the statement. But yeah, no, we're just vibing, trying to figure everything out.
I'll say something about the sound.
Yeah.
I think the sound of the band is relatively pretty harsh. I say that it's a noise band, but people come out, they like the noise. Like, we want to really bring the energy, and we want like kind of a communication between the audience. We want the energy to be the same as the band as it is with the audience. So
why'd you lower your voice before you started talking?
Because I'm trying to be more assertive.
Intimidating, man. We're all friends.
Yeah, I'd say I like the sound, a constant communication between the audience. If we bring the heavy sound and the audience brings the heavy energy, it's a constant conversation.
Well said. Well said, Sevy. Let the record show. We are not a noise band. Noise bands are like actually a thing, and they're grossly different from us, but it's still noise. Anyways,
We make a lot of noise.
we make a lot of noise. Make a lot of noise as a band. Make a lot of
noise.
Do you have like any musical inspirations?
Should we go down the line? Or?
Yeah. We'll start with Kish and just go down the line.
Oh, me? Musical inspirations, Chris Cornell, the whole grunge movement of Seattle in the late 80s, early 2000s. Chris Stapleton, got some country people in there. Shoot, got some, I'll take some Michael Jackson or Marvin Gaye any day. That's where I'm at.
Any day,
Go ahead.
I'm a little bit of a core kid, but also a bit more than that. Oh, this is great. Probably my three biggest influences of the last 3 years would be a day to remember, senses fail, and every time I die. Yeah, here's Sevi.
I've been listening to kind of punk music since I was a small kid. Trey Cool from Green Day just always brings the energy. I talk about energy a lot. I think it's a very important part of the show. So drummers that can bring a lot of energy and creativity. Another one of them I'd have to say is Vince Colaiuta. He's originally a jazz drummer from Berklee College of Music, but he plays every genre. I really aspire to be like him and be able to sound the most professional in every genre, but also bring a very good and creative aspect to like the drumming too. More so like being a little different, I'd say. Different with my fills, different with my playing style. Stuff that the audience can pick up on and be like, oh shit, that's cool. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say out of the four of us, I'm probably the least punk one here. I listened to a lot of classic rock growing up. I've always loved Rush. Geddy Lee inspired me to play bass. Something I'll always share with me and my dad. Rush, Pink Floyd. I'm in the classic rock and a funk scene a little bit. Like Flea. I always like how Flea plays for the Chili Peppers. I'm kind of all over the map, but I've kind of been welcomed into this punk world by these three beautiful boys here. So, you know, I'm not opposed to it in any way, shape, or form.
So what separates your music from other artists?
It's weird. Tallahassee has a wonderful, wonderful DIY music scene, as evidenced by everything that the church is doing here right now. When I first came to college as a freshman, one of the first house shows that I went to was this hardcore show. So it was like a math rock show. It was really weird. But the bands overall were really heavy, blackened hardcore. And I know the one school radio station, what are they, 87.5? WV,
Yeah, something like that.
something like that.
It's a radio.
WV, everybody knows who I'm talking about. They're great guys. Like, they play a wide variety of things, but I remember I was listening to them one day, and it was like Metal Mondays or something like that. And it just got me thinking, like, there's a lot of the DIY scene that is kind of like this, where they're inviting of everyone. The music is, I don't want to use the word general because that feels derogatory, but it's not necessarily punk or indie or anything specific. It's just music. I mean, you have a lot of music majors who are just fucking jamming and they're having a great time. But something I noticed about the DIY scene is it's either that or it is indie or it's this blackened hardcore. And I think if you were to make a spectrum out of those four things, Redrwn would kind of be like left of center between that blackened hardcore and that just like either indie rock or just music, you know? Because everything Sevi and everyone was saying, like, we do have this harsh, heavy sound, but we're also finding it, and it's not just going to be yelling about, like, the girl who dumped you or, like, the time your mom made you punch a hole in the wall. Like, yes, that will be present, but there will be other thematic elements, there will be other sounds as well that are not just, you know, strictly aggro.
I'd say, just to quote Sevi, that it's about the energy, you know? I feel like everyone in Tallahassee, every show I've been to, no matter what the genre is, there's always some kind of connection with the audience. And I think, you know, not to steal his thunder, but I feel like our energy is something that we are like trying to bring to the scene a little bit more and how we communicate with the audience. I don't know if you want to add on to that.
No, I will. Going back to the energy.
Because that's your thing. I want to steal it.
Yeah, it's just like seeing like a couple bands around here. They're all really good, really tight, probably better musicians than they are. But like I've always scaled great performances off of maybe not how well we play per se, but how much the audience just really is devoted to our performance. And that's easy. Of course, we play hardcore music and people love to mosh to hardcore, and it's always so exciting to see the audience really getting into it. Because really, when it comes down to it, you're not playing for the band, you're not playing for people in the room, you're playing for the people who paid the money to see the show. They want to go home, they want to be satisfied. They're like, hell yeah, that was a kick-ass band.
I think that's it.
Are there any upcoming projects that you want to promote?
We're waiting to hear back from DIY venues and established venues across Tallahassee right now. Hopefully someone at this show has something that they can slap us on later on. But we also have an idea for our own DIY show ourselves. I brought up earlier the Raging Westcott cover show, which was a project of mine. Obviously, that I'm in an established band now. I have some people who can obviously take my sound to the next level as opposed to me just doing something by myself. We had the thought of doing an extended concert with it just being us on Westcott Fountain, similar to my setup of what I did with my thing. Some covers in there, some originals. We don't have a big enough discography right now to do an entire concert of just originals. And we probably won't be there by the time we want to do this show. We may want to do it later on in February. We're going to promote that. We're so young of a band to be like, catch our EP, catch our album, catch our this. Like we're still developing. Our second song that we're playing tonight, Telemachus, there's a whole story behind that song. But I would love to get that recorded as a single sometime very soon and get it up on Bandcamp and possibly Spotify. I can't even, 2036. I guarantee you by then it'll be here. Just stay tuned. Aside from that, no, we're just trying to just see what happens this semester. I'm thinking some beautiful things can occur, but
one
yeah.
more question, actually.
Sure.
What's your funniest or favorite memory together?
Oh my God.
Was it when we wrote Majority Confidence or something else?
That was a good time. When we wrote our first song, Majority Confidence. Well, first of all, it has another title, 48-second song, because literally we just improv'd it. I'm over here trying to play proggy stuff when I'm not a prog musician at all in any way, shape, or form. And kids just slow down, just play 3 basic chords like Green Day, Blink-182. I'm like, okay. And I did just that. And this was before Sevi joined the band, and he was hopping behind the kit. He was on drums just wailing, and it was this meme of a tune that we all just felt like. I just improv the lyrics off my head, just screaming them in his garage. And then Sevi joined the band. We re-recorded it. Once Sevi joined the band, it became an actual song, and it's our opener for all of our shows as of late. That was a funny moment. Honestly, we have licenses, but we don't have a car in Tallahassee. So Kish, God love him, he picks us up and carts us and takes us everywhere. And every time, first of all, every time he opens my door, I'm always in a mood. He's like, why? What are you upset about now? And I'm like, just get my shit in the car. Help me out, please. Thank you. And it's just such a great time. Just the diversity of energies, and, the moment we all get in the car to the moment that we all get into the rehearsal space, it just, again, taking it back to energy, everything Sevi was saying, it really comes out. And I mean, I've had a lot of bands growing up, going through high school. I had a band I tried to get together freshman year, and you can tell when shit's just not going to stick, and when the people are okay, they're loosey-goosey, they're trying to try. But every time we get together, I feel something with the guys who's sitting on this couch with me, and I think it's a great thing. And I'm excited to see what's to come.
That's sweet. I got nothing better.
Yeah,
of course.
We're really a really tight group of bands. I would say I wouldn't have my arm around Mason and Jerry if I didn't care about these boys.
Your arm ain't
Here's the
around me.
mic, dog.
Thanks, dog. You got any further questions?
I think that's it.
This is a great interview. Thanks, guys.